Hi, Java students. I'm here today to first of all say I miss you guys, and I really do miss being there with you in school. I hope you are well, and I hope that quarantine finds you healthy and just kind of sitting this out and doing what you need to do, but not watching too much news, and kind of just doing some things for yourself to maybe catch up or get ahead or do things you enjoy. I really think that's important for all of us to be doing right now. This video is not about teaching you any Java for today. This is just to pass on to you what I learned when I watched the AP College Board Director, Trevor Packer, do a webinar, which actually was sent in a link through email from probably the College Board to the school and myself, but I think that Mr. McNaughton also said that he was sending it out to parents and students. So you could access that. It was an hour-long presentation and question and answer session last Thursday night. And then all the information came out from the College Board on Friday. So this video that I'm making for you is really for those who are signed up for the AP exam and what to expect. Okay, I've got the AP College Board website up in front of us here with the updates for how we're going to be affected by this, school closure and what the details are going to be. You could read over it yourself, but I know sometimes it's easier to just kind of get a quick recap from somebody who has been already versed in what's going on. So and I'll try to just keep this focused on Java. I'm sure that a lot of the things I say will also apply to your other AP classes if you're taking them, but not everything. So, stay tuned to your other teachers for any specifics for those classes. So our AP exam is going to be different than it would have been. It is scheduled for Friday, May 15th at 4 p.m. And all of the AP exams are scheduled for a particular time so that the entire country is testing for exactly the same time. For instance, somebody in Hawaii is going to be taking the Java exam at the exact same time that we are, but for them it's going to be morning and for us it's late afternoon. So the Java exam is happening May 15th for us at 4 p.m. It's going to be an online test, and they say it is there is an at-home testing option. So we really have no idea what's going to happen between now and May 15th. And we will cross that bridge when we come to it. If we're back in school, I'm going to just wait for the direction of the administration and guidance department to know whether we're going to be sending you home to take it at home or whether we're going to be having some sort of in-person, I don't know, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't think that will happen, but I could be wrong. So I'm just not going to say anything about that. As it stands, it is an online test that students are supposed to be able to take at home. So it's only going to be 45 minutes and there's no multiple choice. It's going to be only free response questions. For our exam, it's going to be 2 free response questions. The first one will be a longer question. It will be 25 minutes, and you'll have 5 minutes to upload your answer. Then there will be a 15-minute question with 5 minutes to upload your answer, starting at 4 p.m. So as I talk about how this is going to be this year, you may want to be just aware that if you are signed up and you decide that this does not sound like it's a good idea for you to take, the deadline to cancel with Mr. Abranovage from the school counseling office, he's the director there. The deadline to alert him that you want to cancel your exam is Friday, April 17th. So you have about 10 days to consider it. I still think you've put in this whole year of learning Java and you have been learning so much Java, and this is a tough class, that it would be a real kind of waste of your efforts and energies if you just cancel the exam. I really think that you should be well prepared for this. The College Board has made some accommodations for us. The fact that knowing we're going to be out, they're not including all of the material as they normally would. but a subset that's been approved by colleges to still accept if a student gets a particular score on the exam. So here's the thing. You might be wondering, how will we prepare for this exam? Specifically, this is the last assignment that I'm giving you before spring break, and then it's the end of the quarter when we come back, and then we start fourth quarter, and fourth quarter will be dedicated to continuing to practice Java and practice free response questions and move a little. I think you're going to wait until after the exam to cover the couple of topics that are not on the exam, so that we can spend as much time as possible just reviewing the things that are likely to be on those free response questions. Over spring break, I'm not giving you any required assignments. However, I will recommend that those AP videos on the YouTube channel that I've been assigning you, since they are doing daily videos at 4 o'clock, I think, with Mrs. Westerlin, I recommend that you could watch those on your own, totally optional, but keep up with that every day, and I think you will really benefit from that. But I'm not going to hold you accountable for that. It's not going in my grade book. It's just a suggestion. And that's probably what I would say is one of the best ways to stay fresh over spring break. It's going to be a long time till I talk to you next. So, I would really consider doing that. At least tune in a few times. Go to the YouTube channel if you have time and click on something that you think may be beneficial to you. Okay. On the topic of spring break, this is kind of off the topic of the AP exam, but you should also use spring break to catch up on any missing assignments, because on 4/20, the April 20th, the last day of the quarter, that is when missing assignments would turn to zeros. And so that could be detrimental to your third quarter grade, and you just want to make sure that you're kind of staying on track. Of course, doing assignments is always for your benefit to learn the material as well. So there's always that incentive, that the whole reason we are here is so that you learn Java and your other classes as well. Okay, so a couple things about the exam itself. The format of the exam online is going to be open notes, open resources. You will be allowed to use an IDE, a development environment if you wish, to type up your answers to the free response questions. And then somehow you're going to take it from the IDE and submit it to the test, okay? Whatever device you use to access the exam, to retrieve the questions, is the same device that you need to use to upload your answers to this test. You cannot have the answers on one screen over here and then type up and try to submit from a different device. It's all got to be from the same device. You could transfer information from one device to another. Like if you open up the questions on one device and then you work on another one, and then you email the answers to yourself or somehow transfer it over to upload it on the same device you retrieve the questions. They can't control exactly how you do it, but you have to submit your answers through the same device that you open the questions on. So you want to think about that and plan out. They say you could use a laptop, a computer, a tablet, or a phone. It could be any device that you can access the internet on. So you can use an IDE, which means that you could type up your answer and have the IDE, you could be trying to compile and run things to see that they are really working the way you want. But keep in mind, you're going to have 25 minutes for the first question and 15 minutes for the second question. You need to be aware of your time, and you need to be able to feel pretty confident that you don't waste a lot of time just trying to, fix little syntax errors and get it working without being sure of your algorithm. Okay. So I would say, the thinking portion and figuring out how to solve the problem is something you want to focus most on. And if you have been working in an IDE and then you get some syntax errors, that could indicate that you made some mistakes that you want to fix, but if you don't have time, you have to pick and choose. So this is going to be a really, open notes and open resources does not mean it's going to be easy. It's it could be tricky to manage yourself and your time for this test. Also, the College Board has said, let me just go to the actual website about this year's exam. Here we are. I'm going to click on, this is the educator's version. I don't know if it's only available to me. I don't even think I'm signed in here, so probably anybody could look at this. The schedule is here, tells us that it's May 15th at 4 o'clock. Taking the exams, let me see, I'm going to go to view the schedule. And I'm going to scroll down to show you here, May 15th, 4 o'clock. This is the time frame, 4 o'clock. There we are, Computer Science A. Okay. The course-specific exam information down below here, if you scroll down, it will take you to a link for the specific exam, AP Computer Science A. I'm going to hold off on that for a minute. I'm going to go back up to this section here where it talks about, you could read about the exam features and timing, the scoring, and then there's this exam security. So I'm going to show you what they have to say there. There is a really good resource here about open book, open notes tests. You may want to come to this website and read that yourself. That'll give you some good strategies to prepare yourself for an open book, open notes test. It says you are not to consult with any other individuals during the test period. They will be taking steps to protect the integrity of the exam administration as they always do. They say they're confident that the vast majority of you will follow the rules, but there will be a small number of students who try to take advantage, and so they have a comprehensive and strict set of protocols to prevent and detect cheating. They have not shared with us all of their protocols for detecting cheating, partially because that would give away some of the secrets, and they want to keep that confidential, but they do have built-in protection to detect and prevent cheating. We don't know what those things are. But here's the key. The exam format and questions are being designed specifically for an at-home administration, so points will not be earned from content that can be found in textbooks or online. They leave that up to us to figure out how they're going to come up with questions where we cannot find the answers in textbooks or online. My guess, and this is just Mrs. Volz talking, but my guess would be that it somehow is going to include a describe your thinking. Maybe it will include creativity, where you put your own spin on something that you couldn't find online. I don't know. This is kind of a gray area. I'm not sure how they're going to construct the questions differently so that you can't find the information online. Well, let's see. They will use tools to detect plagiarism. There will be consequences if you try to violate the exam security. Okay, so the format of our exam, let me go back to the AP Java exam, scrolling down to Math and Computer Science. Here we go. Here's a lot of information in this table about the time, the timing of the questions. Oh, by the way, you can handwrite your answers on paper and take a photograph to upload your answer to the College Board. That is acceptable. Or you can type it up and upload a file, possibly even upload a picture of your typed code. I'm not sure. There is more details to come out, they said, on April 30th. The end of April, they said they will give more details about the specifics of each exam. But what we do know so far is that the first question of 25 minutes is going to be focused on array/Arraylist. So question 1 will assess your ability to do the following. Write program code to satisfy method specifications using expressions, conditional statements, and iterative statements. So they are probably going to give you a method header or signature, and they're going to give you the preconditions and what the purpose of the method is and what it should return. And you are probably going to be filling in the body of the method, and it will have to do with arrays and or array lists, maybe both, I don't know. The program, you need to write program code that will create, traverse, and manipulate elements in just one-dimensional array or array list objects, not two-dimensional arrays, just one-dimensional, because 2D arrays was deemed to be potentially something that some students had not gotten to yet this year. Okay. So if you look at the course and exam description, you will find free response question 3 in the course and exam description guide that for this class would describe that this same type of question, but there will be modifications to include an open-ended question part. So I'm assuming the open-ended question part would be something where you have to write and explain something, explain your reasoning. That's what open-ended means to me as a math teacher, so that's my guess. Okay, the second question, question 2, that you have only 15 minutes to work on, is worth 35%, and the methods and control structures is the theme of that question. Just methods and control structures. So probably within the context of a class, you'll have to write program code to create objects of a class and call their methods, and write program code to satisfy method specifications using expressions, conditional statements, if else, Boolean, compound Boolean expressions possibly, and iterative statements, loops. Okay, so this one is analogous to, in the course and exam description, they will describe free response question 1. This would be similar to that. So if you want to dig in a little deeper and go look at what that says, it's a good idea. It says an IDE or compiler is not required, and students will not have an advantage if they use one. I believe they're saying this because maybe they figure you spending too much time with an IDE could actually, you could shoot yourself in the foot by running out of time to get the solution completely done because you're worried about, all the maybe structure of what, perhaps it's like, in a lot of these free response questions, they'll say, here's a class and these methods are not, these methods, the details are not shown, but they are defined and implemented elsewhere. And you won't have time to go and define and implement those methods yourself in order to try and run the program and see if yours is working. So you can use it to help you type and format your answers and just catch like little, syntactical things like a missing semicolon perhaps, but you're not really going to get help with the algorithm solution by using an IDE. That's my interpretation. Okay. So I recommend that as you think about preparing for this exam, you would spend some time, maybe print out the Java quick reference, because I didn't send you home with a copy of that, I don't think. You might want to print out some sort of cheat sheet about strings, the string class and its methods and how they work. You might want to print out, your own notes or get a cheat sheet of arrays versus array list. Go back into the things we've done together and pick out important stuff. Anything on these topics, prepare yourself to have good open notes for this test. So I really believe, we've already covered these things, and right now what we've been working on is going back and just starting to review them. I think that you should be well prepared, and we will focus our efforts from now till the exam on actually how to take free response questions and answer them well, look at the rubrics from past free response questions and how do you gain points and how do you lose points, all that kind of thing. So today there will be an assignment to accompany this video in Code HS that you can try a free response question that they have developed. It's not one of the official ones, but it's just something to kind of keep us going. Okay, So I hope you have a wonderful spring break, and I will see you after that. I think I will probably run a Google Meet for our class during one of the scheduled times, like we've been given starting April 20th, and that way I'll get to actually interact with all of you. Okay, that's all for today. Take care.